going on by Marvin Gaye because I feel like it's interesting. I wanna make sure our minds is right for this discussion. It's interesting that in 1971 he wrote this song. He performed live. I know Fred's like 2 minutes too long, so I'll play a minute 30.
I gotta make Fred happy.
But Ocho, you gotta think about that, bro. Like that's 1971. He wrote What's Going On, and I was watching a movie maybe a month ago, and I don't know if it was Malcolm X. I don't know what it was, but I was like, man, this we're in the same moment. You know what I'm saying?
Everything he talks about, the lyrics and everything he says resonates with the same time and the same stuff that be going on today. Nothing has really changed.
Yeah.
The way it happens has changed. The difference is they're not wearing hoods anymore, but they're wearing suits and ties. They're wearing badges. Excuse my language. You understand where I'm going with this? I don't need to get in depth.
Yes.
It's different. I mean, the way, I don't want to get all into it like that, but the way the system was designed is what we're seeing today. No matter how much we think we've gotten forward and what we've been fighting for, it will always be an uphill battle, just based on the design. Period. Always.
And with Marvin
Never
Gaye,
gonna change.
It's never going to change because the way it's designed is to give them a little bit, and what do? And think we've gotten ahead. But at some point they will show you and make you realize you haven't gotten anywhere. It's just little by little. The same stuff continuously happens. History repeats itself, which it continues to do, and we're in 2020. But what's changed? If the lyrics are still the same and everything they're saying about 50 years ago is still happening in today's society, what does that tell you?
B, when was that song? When did the song come out?
1971. What's going on?
71, right? That's 6 years, and I've talked about this before on the pod. That's 6 years after the United States told everybody that black people are equal to white people. That's Jim Crow. Jim Crow was that you're not equal. Black and white restaurants, black and white restrooms. So guys, 6 years later, everybody's not changing their mentality. And Chad, I'm gonna tell you this: if black people are not equal to white people, before that, the police force was the KKK. And if y'all look into it now, the research of it, the police force was the KKK.
I am actually
as we just see Breonna
Chad
Taylor,
Johnson, Channing Crowder,
that was a big topic last week.
Brandon Marshall hosted. This what got him that job on Fox.
We're sitting here in 2020
This shit.
when something that happened.
That shit pretty decent though, yo. They got it edited right. I thought it was part of like Showtime shit or something. Them niggas doing that shit they
We
self.
have to change it. Chad, you made a great point. What has changed?
Yeah.
What has changed? Because if Emmett Till and Breonna Taylor can both get killed.
You be having Fred Taylor. Fred Taylor sound like he got hit too many times.
But Breonna Taylor was shot in her own home. If that can
Just
happen,
ain't-
the people that murdered
Sound like he got hit too many
what
times,
will
like the way he talk.
It's a great question, and I don't have the answer to that, but we gotta find
They
it.
did got that little list.
Let me
Like he got knocked around too many times.
One of three.
Well, I'm gonna tell you.
debates happened. Okay, 2020 election, we had Biden facing off against President Trump. Chris Wallace, he picked 6 things to talk about. Okay,
Get your ass
he was
to a
the
voting
moderator.
center. Yeah,
The
we
6
got
things he
smacked.
talked about was Trump and Biden's record.
Center
He
probably
talked about
high rate.
COVID-19, the Supreme Court,
Whole bunch of LeBron
economy,
bears out there, but
race and
what,
violence. in our
99,
communities.
97?
He also
Yeah.
talked about the integrity
Yeah.
of the election.
Is that T99?
And-
Is that it?
Two things jumped
399.
out to me. Like I thought this thing hit on both ends of the spectrum. He had some people were like,
Smack
"Yo, this
like
is
the
just
DVD.
comical."
Let's keep
And then
it.
the other end of the spectrum, people were like,
Keep it.
"This isn't
Oh,
the
you
strength.
gonna come in my face,
This is
bitch?
the best of the best for us."
Yeah,
These are the
swing
people-
that way.
We're talking about the potential president of the United States.
Oh yeah, they.
I don't know
Yeah,
what jumped out to
I
you
know.
guys, but,
Damn, bitch, you
I
supposed to
just
swing the
thought-
other way. You gonna swing smoke the rest.
Because the
211, 205.
For one, the debate. The debate had different facets and people in my life watching politics that would never, ever. I got text messages from dudes that live in the hood.
Yeah.
When you watching the debate,
Yeah.
bruh, how you watching the debate and you sell dope for a living? What do you? That don't even correlate with your lifestyle in general.
Yeah, smoke.
That is the impact.
Come on,
that
fella.
it has on
Let's dip
everybody,
them out
because of-
early.
I hate saying it, what Trump brings to the table, because you don't know what to expect. You don't know what's going to happen. There's a certain entertainment value with the person that sits at the highest seat that represents all of us, basically, to where it's almost a laughing stock. That was a f***ing shit show. That was a shit show. I'm not into politics. I'm not even going to sit here and lie and pretend that I am. But I understand the importance of actually voting and actually understand
There
the
you
importance
go.
of the individual that
There you
represents
go.
us as a whole. And what I
The
saw
commander-in-chief.
Yeah, commander-in-chief. Man, I know my grandma rolling over in her grave.
Yeah, and that's what it is, commander-in-chief, the president. The strongest nation in the
Yeah.
world, fellas, let's be honest. What did everybody around the world and our country, as Chad, I'm with you, bro. I had my homeboys that I didn't know they knew what Republican and Democrat means, texting me, talking about, bro, what are they doing? What are we showing our children? Because my 7-year-old
Thought I was
and
doing
my
something
9-year-old
big.
sat up and watched that with me and
Just
my
fuck
wife.
that whole
And they
drive.
were, my kids were laughing. Daddy, why they arguing? Why they talking over each other? We tell our kids,
Yeah.
if your sister's
There you
talking,
come.
let her finish. If your brother's talking, let him finish. And we're seeing the president and the potential president
Pass.
sit there and talk over each other, call each other names, question each other's intelligence. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, this is stuff we did in 7th grade to make fun of people. Bro, you ain't got all C's. You can't be smart. Bro, that was childish.
Talk
I
about
was
Oh,
gonna
nah,
say
that shit was grand.
childish what we watched last year.
Oh, I
his
thought
son.
Now when
Like barbershop talk. It's like two dudes in a barbershop
long
talk
on.
about just a topic.
Right. And I think Trump, he tried to, he had his points, his administration, his campaign management team, they gave
Yeah.
him his points. He
That's
jumped
when we got
completely off
him.
ship and went way left. But I think, right. I think what jumped out to me, though, is, that when they asked him to denounce white supremacy, and really by definition, denounce is just publicly declared to be wrong or evil. It's simple. Just say I denounce white supremacy. It wasn't that hard. Yeah, he winked at him and said, stand back and stand by. What I think that meant is hold tight. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I got my shooters. Hold tight, bro. You know what I'm saying? You on deck. I think for me what that meant is he also said, I don't know if I'll be able to give up control of the White House if I do lose, because the election could be a fraud or could be rigged.
Past that bitch.
Stand back and stand by. If he loses the election, we might see a situation where for the first time in this country's history, somebody fights and opposes to leave office. And it could get ugly. That's just my thoughts, my opinion. I think it could get ugly.
Where would it get ugly, though? Where would it? I've seen a few videos of some guys that consider themselves rednecks. What are they going to do? Where are they going to cause the problems at? It's not going to be in the inner city. It's not going to be
Got the
anywhere.
bitch in there fast.
Well, are they going to revolt in a certain area? Who are they going to attack?
I really think they got the heads up. If they, in fact, wanted to start a civil war, because that's all going to be on Trump and on his record. He doesn't give a damn. Well, I guess he does in one sense about the economy, but overall, in my opinion, this is my opinion, he is absolutely the worst president in the history of our country.
Which Biden said.
Say again?
Which
Biden did say that. He did say it. But also, I think that it wouldn't cost him anything to have a civil war take on. And for black people who necessarily don't believe in 2A, as the rights to bear arms, we're behind the 8 ball. You got people that live in the boondocks. They're stockpiling. They've been stockpiling for years. So what does that mean for our people? And I know that might be a bit off what we're talking about, but we have to, as black people,
everything's on the table
or minorities, we have to realize who we're dealing with. It's much bigger than the bully down the street, because this is a guy who's narcissistic. He's divisive. He can't relate to the everyday person's struggle. But people, they still want to vote for this guy. This is a guy who he was spoon-fed. He was given everything in life. How can I relate to you? And the people that follow him, I got a question for them, really. You following his values and beliefs, or you following his policy? Don't bullshit me and say you following his policy because they look sexy.
Too deep for
That
that
ain't true.
reason.
Because his policy, he hadn't yet
Okay, so what's the
to tell us
alternative?
what his policy is.
Okay, so what's the alternative? Because you said something last
Yeah.
show. You said your grandma, I think
My mama.
it was your mama.
said, who you gonna vote for? The lesser of the two evils.
That really, at the end of the day.
Bro, like you got Biden on the other side.
And you know what? What happened? The only reason we've seen a black president and Barack Obama is that he came on the heels of George Bush. Right? I mean, somebody had to get. Bush had his 8-year run where a lot of things happened that a lot of people were pissed off about at the end of the day.
No, they
and
keep
Barack, his
stripping,
campaign
man.
was hokey. Not a lot of people wanted to vote for Hillary.
I don't know how fast I can get the bitch out.
Joe
I'm
Biden's
passing as soon as I
campaign
grab it.
really is
You
timing.
pass, hey.
Who wants to stick with Trump
Get
for
that
another
shorty.
4 years? We know who wants to stick with Trump really for another 4 years, but who really wants to stick with him?
Fire. Keep that thing turned
When I
up.
watched Trump, and I saw the anger, and I
Yeah,
watched
that's
CNN.
on. Playing my man.
But
I
also,
gotta stay
I
deep.
went to Fox News, bro. I want to see the other side of it. I want to see both sides. I watch CNN, MSNBC, but I watch Fox for an hour and a half because I want to see both sides. Fellas, that whole stand down, what is it? Stand down and stand by.
Stand back and stand by.
Stand back and stand by. He's not talking to us. He's talking to the 50% or 49% because y'all remember he didn't win the electoral college. I mean, he didn't win the popular vote.
Stop. I get pulled up playing that pick and roll.
The general percentages, he did not win the nation. He knows that he has to make his people happy.
And cater to
He
them.
has to cater to the people that love him. Bro, it's like if we're football players. If you're a Dolphin fan, you can say whatever you want about the Patriots and Jets, and the Dolphin fans are going to jump on. We're Dolphin fans, and he's amping up the Patriots, fellas. He is not worried about us. He's not trying to make us happy. The white supremacy thing, he wouldn't announce it, was him saying, I'm not going to say no to that. They like me. We, you know,
Okay,
the Democrats don't like him.
Okay.
Why would I try to make him happy?
Nah, come on, yo.
That's cool.
Hands
But
up.
here's my thing, right? Because I have a lot of people, and they know we're having a discussion, and there's a lot of politics. There's a lot of black people that support Trump. And you know why? Because they say I'm a
Oh,
Republican.
you
and
should
it's
have
not
been
about
made a
Trump, I don't like
move.
Trump, but I'm a Republican.
Pass
so
the
I'm
best
gonna
something.
hold my position. Okay? So they're all about their position. They're all about being a Republican, and it's hard for me to separate.
I'm there.
politics
I thought the nigga square was gonna
and
cut.
justice.
Humanity.
Civil
Thought the
rights,
nigga
humanity.
square
Civil
was
rights
gonna
is the better term. How do you say right now as a black person in America, and nobody knows it better than us. We understand the game as athletes. We understand how the media can manipulate our words. So you can stand up there at the podium every single week and you can talk for 10 minutes and you say one little snippet that could be bulletin material. And that's what they're going to run. They're going to flip your words. So when you think about Trump and what he's doing and how he approaches things, it's like, okay, we can understand it when he says, oh, fake news. And he can say, like, oh, of course you guys are going to be against me because you guys are media. But when you talk about the President of the United States, and this is where I get
Damn,
lost.
it's working.
You lead all people. I don't give a damn about your base. I get it, Channing. I understand it. Like, yes, you're trying to win. But, you know, you're going to jeopardize me? You're going to jeopardize my people?
He did it the first time.
No.
He did it the first time.
Bro, he's not jeopardizing us because we all have money. Y'all hear what I'm saying? He is for people with money.
Oh my
if you
God,
see what
that
they talk
back
about
door.
with the economy, Biden wants to tax the rich, the billionaires, and give it to the poor people. Trump wants to let the billionaires off because his point is that when the billionaires have excessive money, now they're going to spend more. And that's where his economy's coming from. And to be honest, fellas, I'm not...
Hey, that ain't even my man at the time. I'm trying to stay on it. I don't know. I'm trying to do something. Something gotta work.
I'm going to tell you what, the stock market is higher
Get
now
away from you,
than it
man.
was before COVID hit. The economy is booming, and that's one thing Trump said last week. that is true.
I
Because
had to
y'all
close
see y'all
it like a
401ks.
motherfucker.
I see my
And
nest
penetrate and
I see my
join.
investment.
Okay.
Bro, the market is doing well right now. And
but here's my thing.
That's who Trump wants to make happy.
That's right.
People
That's
with
right.
money.
But here's the deal. So, and I'm really speaking to the black community right now. Majority of us, the athletes that make it, we come from places where we struggle, right? Overlooked, we're underprivileged, underserved. So you make it out, and Trump wins. You save money.
You make money and save
Yeah,
money.
made
Make
it.
money and
Yeah,
save
smoke.
money.
Look,
The money
man,
you
come
make
on.
and the
They
money
knew
you
what the
save,
fuck was
you
really
then
happening
take,
right
and
there.
you go take it back to where you come from because ain't nobody making no money.
Nope.
So where's the benefit? Where's the value?
And that's what people ask me, why are you a Democrat? Because you have millions. And I say, I'm the only person I know that I grew up with that has millions. I would rather my family and my friends strive. I would rather my family and my friends
Boom.
get benefits and get
I
tax
blew
cuts
it. I blew
as
it. I blew
lower
it.
income people.
I seen what you
than
was
me as a
gonna do.
millionaire
I blew it.
gaining
Smoke.
where I know
Blew that.
that we're gonna lose money, fellas. I was in the league when Barack got in office, and I remember when my taxes went up to 37%. I got a check, and I was like, that ain't supposed to be that low. That million ain't supposed to be 635. But Barack started taxing the rich, and I was okay with it because, fellas, everybody I know does not have the money that we have. And that's the decision that people have to make, and that's the decision I made. Why am I a Democrat? Because of the fact that the money side is not going to affect me, because I'm the only one that I really care about, that I, in my heart, that can think about the fiscal side, the financial side of who the presidency is. And I don't know how y'all feel about it,
I
but
got
that's
sealed
why I
like
vote the way I
bitch
vote.
ass, son.
But it would be advantageous to my pocket
I'll
to
say
vote
it.
Republican.
I'll say it right now. You know, business is booming.
Come on.
Yes, business is booming. You know, when you look at the stock market, I mean, if you're not up 15% right now in this market,
Just when you thought
I mean,
it was
you
over,
just
buddy.
dumb. Oh, Chef, you coming at the right time.
Yeah.
Business is booming.
What the chef just said? What you got going on
Garlic
here?
noodles and crabs.
Wait, who?
It's inspired by crustaceans in Beverly Hills.
Yeah. Well, you gotta
That's
tell us.
great.
I mean, everybody ain't been to Beverly Hills, Chef. Everybody ain't fancy like you now. You gotta tell us a little bit about it now. So, okay, inspired by crustaceans.
Crustacean
Okay.
restaurant in Beverly Hills. It's garlic noodles with crabs.
Awesome. Great.
Wait, no mind.
Chef, before you go, did you watch the debate last night?
Yes, the debacle of a debate. Yes, I did.
Why do you think it was a debacle?
It was just a mess. Our chief of,
Yeah.
head of state, he just kept talking over everyone.
State
And
president or commander.
I don't want to say that. For me, it's a sad time because I've never seen anything like that. I don't even want to talk about it.
An
honestly.
example?
Yes, very bad, very bad. How's that taste?
Oh my goodness.
Everybody, you didn't taste yours yet?
Oh my goodness.
How you like it, Chad?
I love it. We ain't eaten yet, but it's coming.
Channing, good.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Do your thing. You always do your thing.
I really just wanted to say, at the end of the day, when you mentioned the economy, the reason many people might think Trump's economy was better than Obama's economy, the economy's been riding really the last 8-10 years. It's been amazing at the end of the day, coming off the recession. In fact, Obama was averaging 225,000 new jobs a month versus Trump's 193,000 new jobs. Obama, his stock market in the first term was better coming off of the financial recession, and Trump caught that wave. It's easier to maintain a wave, and then he introduced a lot of tax cuts. See, what people got to also understand is when the office changes parties, if you go from Republicans to Democrat, generally the head of big corporations are Republican CEOs. They're going to lay a lot of people off. And that's
Work
gonna
back
affect
in
the
here,
economy.
work back.
You know what I'm saying? While on the flip side of that, if it goes the opposite direction, Republicans to Democrats, well, Democrats to Republicans, they're going to shrink the taxes, right? So now they're able to hire more and do more. So the economy should look better. So I always sit back. Whenever this thing switches up, depends on who's going into office and who's coming out. It's a perfect time to bet whatever you need to bet in the stock market. Whether you bet against the market or you're going to put more money in the market just by going in there.
Man, yo nigga be out of bounds and all that damn there.
Businessman.
Hey, I can't play chess.
It hasn't been as gravy as he said it has been.
You right. Let me try to do
and I
more.
ain't beating him up.
I gotta find out what more is.
Fact check all the time. He's a notorious liar. And at the end, at the very, very, very absolute end of the day, I'm an independent. I love to see whose policies.
That's what more.
I know that the more you put into the system,
It's like be damned if I do, be damned if I don't.
because I give back and I'm able to move my money in different places. So raising my
There's been a lot of times that I don't. That be when I. Nigga, I know you ain't talking on you. You do it the same. It's part of Plan D. Especially when. There you go. Oh.
About him paying $750 in tax? The greatest loophole in American tax is commercial real estate. You find a way to get in that business, you're able to write off almost anything. And he just was able to take advantage of it. I ain't mad at him. It looks bad. It's a bad look. But you can't be mad. He's a businessman. He made his business move. Thanks to his people realizing what the loophole was.
Fred, but quickly, Fred, to what you just said, the tax loophole in Trump's economy or in the Republican economy is commercial real estate.
Almost close, though.
It's corporate real estate. It's money.
More corporate than under Obama. He gave more handouts for
I have investment properties, Fred. We talked about this. I have investment properties, and I'm the only one in my family that I know that has investment properties. So if you have money in the Trump world, in the Trump U.S., if you have money, you're gonna make more money. But most of the people, and I don't want to speak for y'all, let me know I'm speaking that line, but most of the people that we know,
money in my family.
most of the people are family members, our moms, our grandmas, our cousins. If they have money, it's because of us. It's because of us.
Yeah, I meant to go
They're
cross.
not getting those tax breaks for having commercial real
I
estate.
go all the way across.
My family can't have commercial. They don't have a. Me and my wife are bought in on a strip mall. My family can't afford to buy in on a strip mall. So that's why I'm saying where the people I know are not benefiting off of this structure of what's going on right now, and what Biden and Trump talked about last week. Biden and all his videos are for the people, not the billionaires. Bro, all of us are in the top 4% of the nation. So all of us, quickly, all of us sitting down talking are in the top 4% financially of the entire United States. Did y'all know that?
Get it.
I'll take 4-1,
Well,
whatever.
y'all in one. I had to involve myself. So I had to go 3% lower. So I ain't got bread like that. But when I got my little check, my agent told me, he said, congratulations, Crowder, you're in the top 4% of the nation.
Yeah.
How many people do you know that are in that same
You're
realm?
actually in the top 1% in the world.
How many people in the world? But fellas, how many people did you know when you were 10 years old that are in the top 4% right now? 10, 12, 15, 20, 10, 35. How many people do you know that are in the situation that we're in right now? And that's why
Yeah, I think
I
that's
can
where
have money and still understand what money is. A lot of people with money can understand what money really is. They don't value a dollar.
Before we jump into some COVID-19 and talk about football, that was a defining moment in the debate where Trump went and denounced white supremacy. So, that jumped out to you.
But it's pathetic.
But what
Somebody
about
got shooted.
other issues out there? And I think
That's why it's pathetic.
you know what I mean? Like right now, there's so much racial tension, and I think we can get lost. Like you said, Ocho, there's so many people watching the debate or going to vote for the very first time, and they're not prepared. They don't understand the mechanics of voting. They don't understand the mechanics of registering the vote. They don't understand that there are going to be probably 25 races that they're going to look at the ballot box. So there were 6 things Chris Wallace laid out, the moderator laid out last week.
Talk about healthcare.
Healthcare.
Man, I've been trying to get
I
to.
mean, Trump came in and said, you know what? I just really want to delete everything that Obama did. And that immediately really was a sign. It was a red flag to see how this guy was going to lead in presidency.
Good
I
foul.
shouldn't say lead. To see how this guy was going to direct
Hey,
his
I gotta get
resentment
that out my
for
game.
Obama. And really, we all got to deal with it at the end of the day. I don't understand how someone with a heart, you know, with love or compassion towards other people, how could you continue to bleed and follow, you know, the divisive rhetoric that this guy spews out each and every day? That's why I asked about values and beliefs. Because a lot of the people in this country, they're still stuck in this old way of thinking. That's what I meant about values and beliefs versus his policy. But they'll tell you it's about his policy.
Yeah, but here's the craziest thing, man. You go back 4 years ago. I loved Donald Trump. I was like, oh my goodness. Like, this is exactly what we need. This dude talking about clean out the swamp. This dude cutting people off. You know, we got just a non-politician running for office. And I was like, this is amazing. Because you said it, I'm not into politics. And I was like, this is exactly what we need for change. And I thought about how this dude could be a trailblazer and innovator, and he can go down as the best president ever. And that's exactly what we needed. And he messed it up. Like, all he had to do, don't pick a side. Be for black people. Like, I thought it was genius how he talked. I thought it was just perfect for what we needed. Even like now, he's talking like, oh, my base. Your base could be bigger. That's exactly what our community wants. We want that. We don't want no politician in office. We want somebody who's really going to help us and change. But when you go up there and you say, well, we're going to build this wall, and you have these crazy immigration laws, and you go out there and you don't denounce white supremacy, like, you messed it up.
The reason
like he messed up the bag, bro.
The reason he's still standing is because he's politicizing America. Basically, what I'm saying is he running game on his base. I don't want to.
Running game on his base, but it's like.
But that's politics.
It's like,
that's
you know,
politics.
It's like he went for. Let's go sports term. It's like he went for 2 Super Bowls over 6. That's what this is like to me.
But it's politics.
If he got in office and he stood up for everybody, he denounced white supremacy, everybody loved
him. You know, in the call out Joe Biden too, you know, I said last night that Joe was on Adderall and Cuban coffee to make sure he was on point, right? I said, stay in your lane, Joe. They're ready to see you slip. That's the thing. Back in his younger days in the Senate, he signed off on a lot of things that hurt black people. Obviously, Trump is trying to make amends by freeing black people and going back to make sure or look at certain cases that were harsh, extremely severe penalties. And he's freed a few people. Whether that's political or not, he is definitely, in my opinion, politicizing the country to make sure he hang on to his base. He does that, but in the same breath, he's on tape demeaning and talking shit about the troops and about the veterans when he ran away from that. This guy, he's the biggest liar. Now, the lesser of the two, I'm an independent, as I said a little bit ago. I don't consider myself Democratic because they try to put you in a box. Black people got to be Democrats. I don't agree with that. And white people or the uppity black people got to be Republicans. I don't agree with that. I agree with looking at policy, and I'm just getting into this whole political thing. I don't consider myself political, but I pay attention.
This election is going down as the most historical election in United States history. Okay, number one, you got to register, and that deadline's coming up.
That's key.
In a couple days in Florida, you got a couple more weeks in California. 13,000 different voting districts. You got to just Google your backyard and the different rules and the different ways to approach the ballot box. But you gotta register. You gotta understand how to register. You gotta have a valid driver's license. There's some things you just gotta have. You can go to vote411.org and you can just plug in your address and it's going to tell you exactly what's going to happen at the ballot box for you. So there is, the president. You know, you're gonna be voting for the president, but there could be 23 other things. You don't have to vote for all of them. You can leave it blank. That's where the power is at. The power is understanding what you're gonna vote. That sheriff in your town.
Right.
You know, there's things that you gotta know. So just go to Google. But you gotta be prepared. You gotta understand when you go to the ballot box. We just gotta hit that. You know, this is the most historical election. This is going to go down in history. This could change the outcome for the next 50 years. So pushing the conversation forward, because there was so much, and they also hit on COVID-19. The Tennessee Titans, Channing, and also the Minnesota Vikings. They played against each other. A couple guys from the Tennessee Titans tested positive for COVID-19, shutting it down, and that was the talk going into this year. Is this season even going to make it through?
Yeah.
And I didn't even think it was. I was telling people, I was like, there's no way. There's too many guys. When the Marlins had 17 people, after week 1 of the MLB season opened up, Marlins had 17 players and supporting staff that's positive. So I'm like, there's no way that these NFL guys with, we got 30 supporting staff and 60, 70 dudes. We're at 100. There's no chance for them to play every single game they're playing. First time it popped up was this week, or last week, with the Tennessee Titans and the Vikings. And now the Titans play this week, and it's been postponed, and the Vikings now are going to postpone it. There is no reason why a team that plays 16 games, a team that plays 15 games, can't do winning percentage and go to the playoffs. Like, we knew, fellas, I knew every team was not going to play 16. So if I knew it, Chad, Fred, they should have known that they have to have a contingency plan on something that happened with Tennessee, like this week.
Them games gonna be played come hell or high water. Because that money, in order for that TV money to kick in, for those deals, for all those contracts that have been given out, that have to be paid. Remember now, the money don't come from the owners. It don't come out from their pocket. That comes from those TV and those games being played. They gonna get them played. If they have to change it, like the Steelers game, they'll probably do maybe a Monday night. They maybe have a Monday night doubleheader or Tuesday, but they're gonna get them games played come hell or high water.
Right.
Trust me.
I think now we're in an environment where we have.
Yeah.
You know, they're gonna look at They're gonna look at the 9 guys. Whomever it was, and say, all right, y'all got to quarantine. We gotta save face. Y'all got to quarantine.